Pete Buttigieg is keeping busy after his Democratic presidential run. The former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, was spotted just yesterday in the lobby of a hotel where Senator Kamala Harris is preparing for her vice presidential debate tomorrow. He is reportedly playing Vice President Mike Pence in those preparations, reportedly. Buttigieg is also on Joe Biden's transition advisory board, and he's been working at the University of Notre Dame. On top of all that, during his downtime, he's written a new book. It's called Trust: America's Best Chance, and Mayor Buttigieg joins us now. Mayor, good morning to you. You're in Salt Lake City now. You're from South Bend. Are you there for the skiing or something else?
So can't speak to anything going on behind the scenes with the campaign, but of course, Salt Lake City tomorrow will be a venue for a very important conversation, and I'm looking forward for the opportunity for Senator Harris to speak directly to the American people about why we need Joe Biden as our next president.
Well, you're a skilled debater yourself, so I'm curious what you think the strengths of Vice President Pence are as a debater, and how Senator Harris is preparing to meet those strengths.
Well, the truth is, he's a very effective debater. I've seen him debating for governor and debating for vice president as well. He has an ability to deliver lines with a high degree of confidence, whether they're true or not. But of course, saying something with a straight face doesn't make it true. And what's going to be really important, I think, is for Americans to really see the difference between a message from an administration that doesn't seem to want to face reality and the Biden-Harris campaign represented by Senator Harris talking about what it'll actually take to confront this pandemic that's now killed more than 200,000 Americans and that the White House still seems to be in denial about, even with the president getting sick.
If the vice president wanders from the truth, as you say, how will Senator Harris respond?
Well, you know, it should be the job of the moderator, and so I'm hoping that we'll be able to rely on that fact-checking so that she can focus on getting out the message about how this country is going to move forward, what it's going to take to, as the vice president likes to say, restore the soul of the nation, and what that better vision looks like. One
of the issues that did come up in the presidential debate from a couple weeks ago was whether Joe Biden wants to expand the Supreme Court. And he didn't answer the question, but you're an interesting person on this subject because you have supported a plan to add justices, so it's 15. It's not court packing, it's a little bit more complicated than that. But given your support for expanding the court and given that it was an issue in the last debate, I'm curious, could we see an answer tomorrow night to that question?
Well, I think what we're going to see tomorrow night is a conversation about what's at stake right now. We've got less than 30 days till the election and a matter of weeks before the court may entertain a case that could decide whether pre-existing pre-existing condition coverage is taken away from millions of Americans as Republicans try to overthrow the Affordable Care Act in its entirety. I think those really urgent questions are going to command the most attention because this is a nomination, a real live nomination, not a theoretical exercise that could be coming before the Senate in a matter of days.
It's so interesting that your book is coming out at this time. What's the name of it again?
So the book is called Trust:
The book
America's
is called
Best
Trust.
Chance.
Yes, I see it.
You're right. I mean, it's
see
only
it behind
getting more
you,
timely
Pete.
by the day.
I know. I see it behind you. That was an attempted humor. But it's so interesting that I've gotten calls from both Democrats and Republicans, Pete, who asked this question when the president first became ill. Do you really think that he's ill? I was shocked that so many people from both parties were asking that question. What does that say about trust? You write in your book, society works best when people trust. So what happens when people can't trust?
Well, it shows you the point that we've come to. I mean, consider the position of this physician, the doctor to the president. He represents three of the institutions that are supposed to be the most trusted in the world. He works for the White House, he's an officer in the military, and he's a doctor. We should be able to trust people connected to those institutions implicitly, but today we can't. And that is an incredibly dangerous thing. With Americans unsure about something as fundamental as the physical condition of the president of the United States, but it's not just about his health. Our own health depends on trust. You know, right now, researchers are racing against the clock to develop a vaccine, and yet there's polling indicating as many as half of Americans would hesitate to get one. Getting that life-saving vaccine prevents individuals from getting sick. It also prevents individuals from spreading the disease. And it's just one example of how a concept that sounds very theoretical, like social trust, that's a life and death issue.
Yeah.
You say the highest compliment you can pay a friend is, I trust you with my life. I think that's a very short list for most people. But you say trust is easily broken, but it can be rebuilt. Seems like that's needed now.
That's right. Look, if all of us were perfectly reliable, trust wouldn't even matter, right? Trust is what you do when you can't be completely sure of what somebody else will do, but you place some level of faith. You make yourself a little bit vulnerable to them. And there are a lot of ways that, as human beings, we restore trust when it's been broken. We rebuild trust when it's been damaged. That's something America's got to think about a lot
Mr.
right
Mayor,
now. Not just here at home, where we've got to find ways to reform our institutions, but around the world, because we need countries around the world to trust the U.S. more.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, you know, trust has many enemies. One of them is lies. Secrets don't help either, and particularly when they don't seem to be that consequential. So I am curious, why not just say whether or not you're playing the vice president in these mock debates to prepare Senator Harris?
Yeah. Good question, Tony DeCoppel.
So
what do you say, Pete
sure
Buttigieg?
Look, I'm not going to talk out of school, but I am very excited for tomorrow night.
Okay, we're going to take that as a yes.
Yeah, we'll take that as a non-denial confirmation.
A lot of people will be watching. Many people thought VP debate, who's going to be watching. This one seems to have been taking on a different tone. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's so important, and I think a lot of Americans are going to be tuning in to see just a dramatic contrast between a vice president defending the indefensible and Senator Harris, who has the right message for the right ticket, for the right direction for this country.
Pete Buttigieg, thank you very much. The book, again, is called Trust, and it goes on sale today. We'll be right back.